Well, it's another season of NBA basketball, and with that, another season of Warriors basketball. I am so excited to see this team out on the court on December 22nd, taking on the Brooklyn Nets. It has been 9 months since the Golden State Warriors have played actual meaningful basketball, and yeah, I couldn't be happier that the NBA is about to start again. This is going to be a really fun season all around the league, and also for the Warriors, because I don't really know what to expect from this team. Are we going to be a dangerous fifth seed or something like that? Or are we just not going to be in the playoffs at all? I'm honestly not sure. There's a lot of question marks with this team, but what I do know is this is going to be a really fun team to watch. So today I am giving you a little preview of our entire squad, as well as some of the storylines that we're going to have to keep track of this year. So this is going to be a really fun year of Warriors basketball, and I'm excited to talk about it right now. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a cautiously optimistic fan this season. I only have our team going 8th in the West at the end of the day. And I see that this could be actually kind of a low prediction for a lot of people. I think most people have us probably going in like the 5 to 7 range, I'd say. So 8 is a little outlandish, not anything too crazy, but for me, I don't know what to expect from this team right now. So that is why I have them in 8th. So if we're talking about philosophies, we've got our offensive philosophy is gonna have to be quick pace, ball movement, points off turnovers, fast break, and transition offense. It's gonna be a high octane, fast-paced offense this season. I expect us to be top 5 in pace this season, because that is how we're going to be having to get our points this year. Then the defensive philosophy, we're going to have to team rebound. There's not a lot of size on this team aside from James Wiseman. He's the only guy even close to 7 foot. In fact, he's 7'1". But other than that, our other centers are pretty undersized. Smiley Geach, Marquise Chris, and Kevon Looney. Then as far as our defense, we've got a lot of guys with really long wingspans. We have like 9 players over 7 feet wingspan, so we're gonna have to rely on that, and we're gonna have to try to force turnovers and get steals, and we're gonna have to be a good defensive team at the very least. We've got to be, if we want to win games, because it's just going to be a rough dogfight in the West this year. It's going to be really tight. And so here's what I'm projecting the depth chart to look like. We've got Steph, we've got Andrew Wiggins, Kelly Oubre, Draymond Green, and James Wiseman. I think this is a really good starting 5, and if Clay was in there, then we'd have a really good starting 5. But hey, what happened, man, and it really sucks. But we're just gonna have to keep moving on without him this year. Taking a look at our bench, though, I do think people are underrating the bench. I don't think it's anything spectacular, but it's definitely not one of the worst benches in the league like some people seem to think it is. You've got Brad Wanamaker, who is just a quintessential backup point guard. He runs your offense when your starter is not on the floor, and he controls the pace of the game. He's smart, he's disciplined, he has good basketball IQ, he can shoot that 3 ball, he's a good free throw shooter. Honestly, everything I want from a backup point guard is there with Brad Wanamaker. Moving on to Kent Bazemore, honestly, I thought he was washed. Then I saw him in the preseason, and he looks shifty, he looks quick, he looks every bit of his wingspan as well. He has over 7 foot of wingspan, so he could really help us on defense perhaps this year. I know that's not really his calling card, but he could just be a spark plug off the bench and, get some quick points whenever needed. Kind of reminds me of a Leandro Barbosa. I know we had Kent Bazemore before, back in 2013, I believe, but he was definitely not as good as his celebrations back then. That was the reason we basically kept him around, because he was Steph's friend and he had amazing celebrations on the bench. He was not the player he is today, but yeah. Speaking of Steph's friends, we've got his brother-in-law, Damian Lee, who is all right. Last year, perhaps his stats were a little exaggerated due to there not being Steph on the court, but he's a pretty good three-point shooter, not anything special. Yeah, and that's basically what he's going to do. He's going to have to space the floor for us because there's not much three-point shooting on this team. Also, when he goes to the line, we're going to need him to make those free throws, and he's a decent free throw shooter. Yeah, this team is definitely not as good free throwing as our teams have been in the past. Then we've got Eric Paschall, who I'm basically looking at as our sixth man this year. I really, really do want him to step into that role and just be a scorer off the bench. He's really worked on his three-point shot during the offseason, and I'm confident he can do some great things. And then Kevon Looney, a lot of Warriors fans are starting to get frustrated with Kevon Looney, and that's probably because they just don't understand what type of player he is. He's not a guy who's going to be a tree in the paint and be a rim protector. No, but he is great when you have to switch him onto a player like James Harden or Luka Doncic, who's very shifty and tries to beat him with a crossover, because Kevon Looney plays some really, really disciplined defense. He'll keep his feet down and contest well, and he's also he's been working on his post moves over the offseason, and we've definitely seen that during the preseason. He's definitely not a bum, and he was a huge part of our playoff teams in 2018 and 2019 mostly. Then we've got Nico Mannion, who I've loved what I'm seeing from him in the preseason. He is a two-way player, however. So yeah, he's going to be our third string point guard this year, but he is a spark plug in every sense of the word. He handles the ball pretty well. He's a great playmaker on the fast break, and since we're going to be on the fast break a lot this season, it wouldn't hurt to have a lineup with him and Steph playing the two guards in our lineup at any point. And when they've used that lineup during the preseason, it's actually worked pretty well. So I love what I'm seeing from him. He's not a shooter or anything like that yet. He'll put in work with whoever the shooting coach is. I'm forgetting his name right now, but he'll get better at shooting. But right now, I think he should do well just playing to his strengths and just be a great playmaker, which he is. Then Jordan Poole, it's all about his confidence here. It is all about Jordan Poole's confidence. If he is confident, he can shoot that three ball well. He can get to his spot on the elbow and knock down nice mid-range jumpers, get to the cup, and maybe even do a little playmaking and also play some defense. But that all has to do with his confidence. Hopefully, he'll be confident this year. We'll see. I don't want him just chucking up shots if he's not confident, of course, but yeah, just do your thing. Then we've got Michael Mulder, and he's just going to have to be a shooter this year. Again, there's not that much shooting on this team. Any shooting that we can get, we're going to want, and Michael Mulder, that's the reason we kept him on the team over JTA, who JTA... Juan Toscano Anderson, he's a good defender. His offense leaves so much to be desired, though. And then Marquise Chris, I have him as third-string center. As you can see, I don't have any third-string power forward on this depth chart, but that's just kind of because Kelly Oubre can play some power forward. Marquise Chris, who's been working on his three-pointer during training camp and the offseason, he could maybe go into power forward alongside James Wiseman. That would be a kind of big lineup. I don't know if he could keep up with power forwards defensively, so I'd rather have him at center. But yeah, he could take that backup center spot from Looney. I'm not sure. We'll see. Looney and Chris, I kind of have the same feelings about them right now. I feel like they're pretty even as players. And then Alen Smailagić, I don't expect him to be getting a huge amount of playing time this year. He's still incredibly raw. I've seen him work on his ball handling during training camp and the offseason, so that's a good thing to see. But he's all right. he's below average, honestly, and it's funny. He's kind of a meme. He's beloved by the fans, but he's not going to be a huge contributor for our team this season. And that about wraps it up. I've got the Warriors going 8th this year, but I think it's going to be a really, really, really fun season. Can't wait for December 22nd. Can't wait for Christmas Day against the Bucks. It's going to be really fun. Going to be an awesome season. So, thank you guys for watching this video. Tell me what you agree with. Tell me what you disagree with. Let me know any thoughts about the Warriors that you have this year. And I'm excited to hear it. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.